Hey, good morning, Facebook friends. How's everybody doing? I'm in a different location this morning because last week, well, it's still happening today, my internet kept kicking me off. So some of you saw a 10-minute portion of what I wanted to talk about and follow up on in creating that or developing that millionaire mind. So, hey, Debbie, how are you, beautiful? Can't wait to give you a big kiss in Nashville. Nice to see you. Topic, developing a millionaire mindset. There's a beautiful Barb McAllister. Barb, I love you, girl. Happy Isa-versary, 10 years today. That's amazing. And you look awesome, by the way, and I'm so glad that you're coming to celebration and we get to hang out together. Oh my God, all the movers and groovers are showing up today. Herbie Cepeda, can't wait to give you a big hug and a kiss. Wendy Dodds, beautiful Wendy, recovering from, an unfortunate circumstance. And Wendy, you're a fighter. I'm so proud of you for, just jumping in there and doing the do and coming back. I know you're coming back stronger. You're coming back livelier. You're coming back and you're going to kill it. So we're all behind you 100% of the way. So sending you love, sending you hugs, sending you prayers for a speedy recovery. So love you, girlfriend. Hey, Casey, how are you? Okay, guys, so let's just get started on this. So last week, I was really excited to follow up on something that I discovered. I make lots of notes whenever I go to different events or I attend a training, and one of them was on how to develop a millionaire mindset. And I thought, what is it that allows some people to think in ways that bring abundance into their lives, and why is it some of us constantly live with a poverty mindset? So 2 weeks ago we talked about how to think the way rich people think. Why is it that some people don't get what they want? How is it you sabotage yourself? And how do we change the cycle, right? So if you go back to my replay from 2 weeks ago, it's all about choice, you guys. We have the choice. Hey, Casey, we have the choice to think the way we want to, but stuff gets in the way. And so why don't you get what you want? Well, it started with a commitment. Most of us don't know how to make a decision, and when you commit, the how shows up. And so many of us are waiting for other people's opinions, people to tell us what we should do. And oftentimes they're people who have no vested interest in us. And I say, where do all these people come from? All these people who seem to know a lot about what I should do and what's good for me in my life. So guess what, you guys? You know what's good for you. Tap into your heart. And why is it we sabotage ourselves when the thing that we asked for showed up? Oh my goodness, so many times I asked, I prayed, I begged, and the answer came, and guess what? I didn't do anything. Hey, Larnie, so nice to see you here. And so we sabotage that's a big word, just a minute. We sabotage ourselves, at least I did, because I was hanging around with the wrong people, because I allowed past conditioning to come into making decisions about how I wanted to move forward, right? And so how do we change the cycle? How do we create a new blueprint for a wealth file? And when I talk about wealth, you guys, I'm not just talking about money. I just got off a call with a young lady who, was so filled with fear, but she's so successful in other endeavors, but she's so filled with what people will think of her. And I said, are those people coming to pay your mortgage? No, right? So it starts with developing this blueprint. It starts with the power of intention. What do you want? writing it down and conditioning your mind to think in a different way. And for some of you, the law of attraction, right? Your thought, what you think about, you bring about. So I promised you guys an action plan. I'm just going to refer to my notes here, an action plan of how do we change the cycle. What are those elements of change that will allow us to have a new blueprint, a new wealth file? And that wealth could be about your body, it could be about your relationships, it could be about your bank account, it could be about what is it you keep attracting or not attracting into your life. So the first thing is, Wendy, you're right. What we focus on becomes real. What we focus on grows. And so that's the first thing. You need to know, what do you want? And I've been fortunate enough to have the pleasure to coach with the amazing Bob Proctor. And I remember sitting in a seminar room with him. There was only 30 of us there. It was in a horseshoe, and I was at the end of the horseshoe, and Bob was standing right there, and he just went like, he said, "What do you want?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so close to Bob." And it was like, I was afraid to answer it. Why? Because I didn't know what I wanted. I knew what I didn't want. And guess what? What I didn't want kept showing up in my life. And I didn't understand that thought process. I didn't understand why that was happening. So when I thought, oh my goodness, I've gone like 40 plus years. I'm now 63. And nobody had ever really asked me, what do I want? People told me what I should do. Nobody asked me, what do you want? Right? So do you have clarity about what you want and where does you want to go? Or are you in a washing machine cycle of what I don't want? I don't want this. I don't want that. I can't have this. So all of those negatives are showing up for you. Hey, Monica, nice to see you, girlfriend. Okay, so do you have clarity? Well, one way to do that is to create a vision board, right? Put the things on there that you desire, that you want, and it's a way of thinking and vision casting what you want to bring into your life. So having a clear vision for what you want is key, right? So one of the things that I did was I wrote out what my perfect day would look like. So if time and money weren't an issue, I was in control of my time, I had the money to do the things I need, I wrote out what my ideal day looked like. From the time I woke up in the morning to, where I was, my beautiful sleigh bed, what I was looking at, my view, what I smelled, the fireplace was on. Hey, Efren, all the way from London, England, nice to see you. And so I just imagined it. I envisioned it. What is my perfect day look like? Where am I sitting? What do my surroundings look like? And guys, if I showed you my house, this is some of the things that I absolutely envisioned how I'd be living. What was I looking at? My husband bringing me a cup of coffee in bed, and at the time we spent our winters in Canada, in Ontario, and so I envisioned having a bedroom with a beautiful fireplace and smelling the coffee when I woke up. And so when I wrote this all down, I'm like, I'm like, this is the life I want, right? So the phrase is, people say, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, you got to turn it around. You have to see it and then believe it. So start with one goal, right? What is the one goal that you want to chase after? Write it down. Oh, I left my props in my office. So write it down on a little card, right? So I have these little index cards and I would write it down. I had pictures of the kind of body I want to have, right? Because at the time when I started this program with the current company I'm with, I was, like we make a joke in our family, when we're sitting down, we look normal. When we stand up, the second person appears. So I'm like, okay, I want that second person to go away, but I had to have an image to work towards, right? And then broadcast your goal. Yes, tell the world what you're going to do. That's how you close the back door of, your escape. All right, so I broadcast to people that I was joining this body championship, and it was really scary for me because I didn't know anything about working out, right? And I'm like, what do I do? What's all this equipment? And Wendy, you can relate. And so I got myself a trainer, somebody who's going to orient me and teach me and help me towards my goals. And like, never had these before, you guys. They were hanging down, and when I waved, my underarms waved at the same time. So that was my first goal, is to have a healthy body, because I was tired. I had no energy. I was gaining weight, and I thought, I can't do anything else until I get my health under control. So 1, you need to know what you want. 2, commit to what you said you were going to do, right? In my previous life, I would broadcast my goal, and people would say to me, so Carolyne, how's that fundraising thing going? And I'm like, oh, well, I never really got it started. So broadcasting your goal and following through creates this level of accountability for yourself and to have others help you, right? So broadcast your goal. Let people know what it is that you want to do and how they can help you, guys. So in broadcasting my goal, let me just look at my notes here. I commit to that was number 1. So commit to doing what you said you were going to do. It includes taking responsibility, right? This is how you create credibility. Again, I broadcast my goal, I told people what I was going to do, and I never followed through. And so my credibility was kind of, on the scale of 1 to 10, it was at this end versus at the higher end. So I had to learn how to take responsibility for not just saying stuff, but for actually doing stuff. And my husband gave me this 5-part business plan. And number 1 was have a goal. Number 2 was create an action plan. Number 3, the most important, get into action, right? Get into action. Number 4 was to monitor, how is that action plan going? And if it's not working out well, guess what? You got to change something, right? So number 5 is to course correct, or maybe you have to create a whole new plan, right? So commit to what you say you're gonna do. Have a plan. Number 3 is, oh my goodness, you guys, this was something that I had trouble doing, and it's taken me a while to learn this. And I know some of you are out there. Learn to receive. Learn to receive. I was a poor receiver. I was great at giving stuff away, telling people, complimenting people. When people complimented me, I go, oh, this old thing, I bought it at Marshall's, right? Or I would minimize the compliment that people gave me. If they'd say, oh, Carolyne, you're beautiful. I go, oh, no, well, I just got my hair done. And so, hey, Michelle, there's some beauty there. Learn to receive, you guys. Check in on what your reactions are when people compliment you. Check in on your reactions when people offer to help you, right? When people offered me help financially, and I needed it, but I pushed them away. So when you are a poor receiver, you're putting the stop sign up into abundance that is being offered because you asked, right? So it was hard for me to learn to receive without the feeling of that I now owed something to somebody. I had to reciprocate. And so when you learn to say yes to more things are going to come into your life. And I want to tell you a little story. I often listen to or watch Joyce Meyer. She's a great Christian minister. And I really got the message of giving without expectation. Giving without expecting something back in return. Because some people, they're receivers, they're givers, they're receivers, but it comes with conditions. So Joyce offered this vision. She brought her daughter up on stage and she said, oh, my Sandy, I love you. I think you're my darling daughter. And I was out shopping and I found this beautiful pair of shoes and I bought them for you. And so she opens up the box, and her daughter looks and she goes, oh, wow, those are great shoes, Mom. Thank you very much. And as her daughter starts to walk off the stage with this box, there's like this string attached to it. So some of us are great givers, some of us are great receivers, but some of us are expecting something in return. So when you give, give with no expectations. When you receive, receive gratefully and gracefully. That's the key word, gracefully, without minimizing what's being offered because you asked. Okay, number 4, this is a key for me, you guys, because I used to put myself down all the time. And this is a little tip for you. Never you put the word just. Oh, I'm just a flight attendant. I'm just a housewife. You are a perfect specimen and a creation of the Almighty. He doesn't make junk. So you're not just anything. All right. So for me, embracing personal growth was key. And again, Bob Proctor is a great mentor of mine. He said, if you're not growing, you're dying. You think about a plant. If you don't water it, it starts to wither and die. So my husband said to me, so how many of those courses are you going to keep taking? I go, I don't know, until I guess I'm in a box somewhere, right? Because when do we ever know everything we need to know? I don't know. I know there's always something for me to learn. And so if you're not growing, you're dying. So the question you want to ask yourself is, where are you today? And I'm going to just take a peek at my notes. Where are you today? Where are you today? And what is it you need to know to get to tomorrow? All right. So that was a question I kept asking myself. Where do I want to be? What do I need to learn? That's a little easier, right? So what did you do last year, if you're in business, to grow your business? And maybe that thing isn't working anymore. And maybe you need to learn some new techniques, bring in some new tools, learn a new idea, learn a new approach. Because businesses today, I mean, you look at how things have changed, right? The largest hotel in the world, the largest business in the world who provide hotel rooms to people, they don't own any hotels. Airbnb and VRBO. The largest company in the world that provides transportation services doesn't own any vehicles. Uber and Lyft, right? So how we did things yesterday won't be how we do things today that will take us to tomorrow. So personal growth is key, you guys. So like in my network marketing business, many of you know that I, run an online business. I'm a partner with a network marketing company. 14 years ago, how I did business, connecting with people one-on-one, is not how it's not the most successful way today. It's one way for me to get the message out about what I'm doing. But there was no Facebook, there was no texting, there was none of this technology and social media 14 years ago. So if you don't adapt to the terrain, you're going to see or maybe not see the results that you're looking for, right? So it's about embracing what's showing up and just saying, okay, I don't know how to do this, but I'm willing to learn, right? Because when you're learning, you're growing. Nothing stays the same. Everything changes, so why not you? Okay, and the last thing I want to leave you with, guys, and it's something, again, I had to learn. I was always looking at things from the point of a glass half full. And I didn't realize it. So it was my tribe of 5, my posse of 5, who pointed that out to me with love. And sometimes you may have to show that to people. So it's being happy with what you have. That's when more will show up in your life. So gratitude is a big part of my day. I wake up, as soon as my feet touch the floor, I'm giving praise upstairs to God for all the abundance He's brought into my life, for where I live, that I have a roof over my head, that I have food in my belly, that I have friends and family that care about me, that I live in a beautiful community here. So what are the things that you take for granted that you have to, well, you don't have to do anything, that you want to take note of how much you really do have? Because I know that when I'm grateful for what I have, more shows up, right? What do you guys think? Anybody else feel the same way? So I start my day in gratitude and I end my day in gratitude. What am I grateful for that's going to come into my life today? And at the end of the day, when I lay me down to sleep, what am I grateful for that showed up in my life that day? And sometimes it's hard lessons. Sometimes it's things that I didn't invite into my life. Like beautiful Wendy, she had this freak accident. She didn't invite that into her life, but she's looking at the blessings that are coming into her life as a result of this freak accident. So gratitude isn't just about all the abundance that's happening, right? So, and guys, I can't quite read the chat, so I will take a look after. So write in a gratitude journal. There's something very cathartic about taking a pen, not typing, taking a pen and writing in a journal and putting your thoughts to paper, right? And it's amazing when you look back and you went, wow, when I look back and I see, those are the things that I imagined. Those are the things that I was grateful for. Those are the things that I envisioned, the kind of life I was leading. And that's what's showing up. And sometimes we got to be grateful for what doesn't show up in our life because we don't know what, maybe God never intended for us to have that, right? So I'm grateful. And patience is a huge factor for me because I'm one of the most impatient people. I want it and I want it now. So I'm grateful for patience and the lessons that come from that. So when you're writing in your gratitude journal, pick 5 things. And so, it doesn't have to be some big earth-shattering thing. Like, I live in a beautiful parquet setting. I wish I could show it to you. And sometimes when I see the red cardinal sitting on the tree, the maple tree, the red Japanese maple tree, right outside my living room window, I'm like, oh, that is so beautiful. When I hear the birds tweeting in the morning, I'm so grateful for hearing because I love that. When I hear the wind rustling in the trees, I'm like, I love that sound. So it's the simple thing. And yeah, Brenda, you're right. It's simple things that I'm so grateful for. And, just the kind of abundance and life we have here in North America, right? So are you someone who's a glass half full or a glass half empty person? So I say, sometimes you just have to throw out the glass, right? Forget that. And just look at what's in your life that other people are envying when maybe you're thinking, I really would like to have her life. Well, I don't know what other things that person's dealing with. So I'm just grateful for what I have. So